Hi, we are live. Hi
Yes, we are.
everyone, welcome to the Vercel community live stream. We are so excited to have you all here. I'm Anshuman, one of your moderators for the session today, and joining me is Pauline. You have probably seen us on the Vercel community replying and having discussions on there. It's amazing to join you all in this live session, our customers, our community members, and the users, all of us here. Feel free to drop a message in the chat box telling us where you are joining us from. And if you do not see a message box or you cannot send a message, don't worry. Just use the sign in button at the top of your page and sign in using your Vercel account. And then come back here, click on going into the event box, and then you'll have your chat box. So excited. I'm so excited to hear from all of you, your thoughts. Yeah, just bring it on. Over to you,
Amazing. Thank
Pauline.
you. Thank you so much, Anshuman. So, before we dive in, I just want to quickly remind folks of our code of conduct. So, this is a welcoming space for everyone. So, just make sure to be kind, respectful, and inclusive in the chat and in all of your interactions. Let's just make sure we continue to keep this space nice and positive for everyone. It's nice to see a few people already watching and tuning in. So today's session is actually a little bit different to one we've done before. We're going to have a couple of our community members based out in India talking about their projects that they've built with Vercel products from like V0, Next.js, and even just like contributing to the community. So this is going to be super exciting. Anshuman, do you want to introduce our first speaker?
Yeah, today Arindam is joining us. Arindam is a developer advocate at Studio One, and he's been posting amazing projects and sharing with the community what he has been building. So glad to have you here, Arindam, and the stage is yours.
So thanks a lot, Pauline and Anshuman. It's thanks for the opportunity. So hey there, everyone. I recently built this project that is called Logo AI. So most of you have faced this problem. I myself a developer, not a good designer. I was having this issue whenever I try to build a project. I have to go to some software or build a logo, and I thought of okay, why not build my own logo generator which can generate the logo. So that's why I built this project, and it is pretty straightforward to use. You can just log in here, and it is completely free. And for the building of this, I used Next.js, one of my favorite frameworks, and V0 for the basic mockups, and then I improved that along the way. So I can give a roundup of this. So this is the dashboard that looks like. So all you have to do is give a brand name here, choose a style of this. You can choose the primary colors, background, image sizing, quality, and most probably the models as well. So for now I have three models that I have used for generating the image. So you can use that for generating your image. I can give you a small tutorial of how to build one. So let's just do this. Yeah. So I'm just creating a logo for my agency, that is Studio One. So that will be simple. I don't add much comments here. Let's just create one here. I will just go with the default settings and see what it generates. It might take few seconds to generate. So I am using a text to image model. So yeah, you can see a simplest logo ready for you. I'm using that Fluxional model, which is an open source model as well. And to generate, you can download that. You can generate more images. You can see other images and in the gallery section. But yeah, that is the base project I recently built and got huge response from the community. I got around 1000 plus users in this project in couple of weeks, which was crazy for me. And I have to buy a domain for this because I thought okay, I will just get 50 60 users on that. And then suddenly one of my tweets blew up, and I got a lot of folks signing up to this. That's why I have to also buy a domain and then set up everything in the production environment. And now this is, but I just want to tell that okay, this is not the first thing I built. This is not the, if you see the fancy thing here, it is not the first version of that. For the first version I used v0. Like, I can share my screen. So this is what it was looking previously, the dashboard that you can see now. This was the first version of it, and I built it using v0. So as you know, I'm also, not a good UI UX designer as well. So I rely a lot on v0. I just gave a small prompt that what I'm trying to build and what I am trying to improve. So it gave me this kind of layout. Then on top of this, I just, added more stylings, and then I got the project ready. And it just took me around 1 weekend to build the project, and then all I have to do is, make some improvements on the UI part, and yeah, that's it. It was just, downloading the code here and then setting up with everything. So yeah, that made the work pretty well for me, I would say. The design, I would love to know your feedbacks, like what do you think about the designs and any improvement that you want me to do here. So yeah, that was one of my first project using v0, and the experience was super good. And yeah, I'm happy to have any questions from you folks, if you have any. Otherwise, I can share about some other aspects of this as well. So I also recently contributed to Next.js, which was one of my, biggest contribution, I would say, in the open source domain. I've been, contributing to open source for a couple of years, but yeah, this is one of my biggest achievement, I would say. So it took a few months to merge a lot of iteration. If you can see here, a lot of changes and fixes, but overall the experience was, super amazing. I got to learn a lot of stuff. This was a contribution to the CLI. So in Next.js 15, when you use that headless API mode where you have to add that flag API, so I contributed to that, and every time I use that, it feels so good that okay, I contributed to this part and this is working in Next.js 15. So super, grateful to the community. If you see all those reviewers here, they helped me a lot during this project, because I was getting a lot of errors during builds and all the stuff. So in the contributing phase, I had to like fix a lot of things. So it was a very learning journey for me, and I learned a lot from the community. And yeah, super excited to answer any questions if you have around this or those kind of things. So yeah, this is something I want to share, like contribute to open source. That is one of the greatest. And after this contribution, I also built my own CLIs, and I also got a job offer as well from this contribution to another company. I would not say the name, but yeah, that helped me to clear job interviews as well. So yeah, that really helped me overall to grow myself as a developer. And yeah, pretty much. And yeah, I'm super grateful to the community for supporting me throughout. And yeah, that's it from my side.
Oh, that's so nice of you to share with us the next year's experience, the contributing to the open source. And yeah, so nice to see you. And then thanks for doing this. Yeah, we'll take the questions in the end. So for now, I would like to invite the next speaker, Avik. He has been building a lot of new projects using V0 and AI and showing them on the community. So would love to hear it from you, Avik. The stage is yours.
So, hello everyone. So, here's my simple project idea, which is to automate your Google Forms creation, basically. So, what the this project actually does is to helps you to automate your full Google Forms workflow, right? So, basically, like creating as well as deleting the forms, basically, as well as basically seeing the response as well as Excel, everything like this is the small demo. And how I got this idea was like when in our college, most of us usually take do Google Forms for taking the response from the students or faculties as well. So I thought of one afternoon like to just build it using like Next.js and the AI, since AI is in the hype. So after that, this initial version got the idea, and here it is, the whole website for you can test it out. And I can give you a small demo as well. um, Here's one. So let's suppose like I am creating a contact form. So in this project, the AI hallucinates a lot sometimes, even though we have written a good prompt, and sometimes it doesn't. So you can see the form has been created for you. So you can either take this form directly, like click on edit, and you can open it in another tab. If you don't want to open it directly, you can like click on view link as well, and then there's your view link copied to your clipboard, and you can just directly share it as well. If you want to see like which forms you have been created, like which forms are you have created, we have like these things like whole of the screen where every forms have been like created. As you can see, I'm using this application a lot, and some of my friends are also using this application a lot. So I have gotten around like 20 plus users for this. And if you want to see the responses as well, you can, as well as you can export it as Excel or PDF depending upon your needs, as well as like there are view and editing. And if you want to delete it, we have like I have provided the option to delete it as well. uh, the biggest challenge that I faced when making this application was of Google Forms API. Like it's so, like for me it's so tough to use Google Forms API because the documentation is scattered all around. And to do one thing, to find one thing, I needed to find, like, go through multiple layers of pages before like taking the right call for the application. So this was like, it's fully open source, so if you want to check the code, it's in my GitHub repo. The second, like, this is one of my project, and the initial version of this was created using v0. If you go to the landing page, and in here, like, if you see the demo of it, you would see a previous version which was like created using v0 only. So I am not a good UI or UX designer that much, but I tried to create it using like v0 at first, and then got the feedback of community from Vercel as well as from Peerless. Other community was there. So from there we created, like, I took the UI feedback and then changed the UI a lot. So this was one of my project, and the second one was real time Sudoku, which was like, I wanted to learn live blocks basically. So here's the full story of it. So basically, like, in Vercel, whenever you deploy your Node.js backend, you can't use your socket backend, right? Because Vercel doesn't allow it. So I needed to get around this for, making this app possible. So I had two choices basically. One was Superbase with their real-time capabilities, and the other one was Lightblocks, which I heard from Chai or Code, Hitesh Chaudhary. So from there I implemented all of this. Like, you can just directly, if you want, I can like show you as well how it works. So suppose you start a game on a medium difficulty, and we are using Sudoku.js, an open source library which was there for generating the Sudoku. And in here, like, you can enter the number as well if you want. Like, I have made a mistake, I am not a pro Sudoku player, but the main thing is, if you want, like, you can copy the link as well as share it with your friends to play. You can add up to like 50 maximum, since it's the free tier limit of live blocks at once. And you can also chat with your friends. uh, this project of mine got third place on Peerless Launchpad. I haven't displayed it in any of here. Like, I haven't changed the UI that much, but it was there. And so many users have used the app and gotten very positive feedback from the community regarding all of this. And if you want to, like, this is also open sourced in my repo. If you want to have a look on how I created this, the link would be in my repo as well. So this is what my, like, everything I have built for now. And how Vercel has helped me, like, previously, like, I used to keep max most of the things on localhost only. Like, you could call me a localhost developer, but after that I shifted to like seeing some deployments on Vercel, like from Arindam, obviously. And then there were some of my friends as well, like, who created this, like, deployed their applications on Vercel. So I got the idea to, deploy my applications. And obviously, like, community is the best thing that's ever to occur. So due to this, I am out of my introvertness and trying to go to extrovertness, but let's see where it does take me. So thanks. thanks everyone for listening. If you have any questions, you can ask me.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Avik, for showing this around. I love your Sudoku game personally. I think it's the sleekest design I've seen so far. And I think one of the nicest projects I've seen on the community. So, yeah, kudos to you for building it.
Thank
And thanks for sharing it. We'll keep the questions to the end. Now, I would like to invite the next guest, Jyoti. Jyoti is a developer relations engineer, and she has been one of the most active members of our community. So, she would tell us a few things about community and V0 usage. So yeah, hi Jyoti, the stage is yours.
Hi, everybody. I hope my screen is visible. So, today I'm going to talk about navigating Vercel using V0 and docs and community. First of all, a small introduction. I'm Jyoti Bish, Developer Relations Engineer at Harness. And I would like to talk today about contributing to Vercel because a lot of people, even when I talk to them about Vercel, they are interested about how to get started with the contribution, how to get more recognition in the community, how to use V0, how to use documentation to actually self-learn. So that is what we are going to talk about. So the starting point, beginner mode. So I was pretty new to Vercel when I started contributing, and of course, it wasn't perfect for me because it was pretty new. The ecosystem was pretty new for me, and I hadn't worked on anything like that before. And I did not always have the answers because as a beginner, you navigate a lot of things, you go through a lot of challenges, and then I, in my mind, I couldn't answer those, right? But I had something much better than that, which is willingness to figure things out and immense support from Vercel community. So I found out that Vercel has their own community forum where they answer questions regularly. And to my surprise, there was the doubts that I had, they had already been asked by other people. So I was like, okay, I'm not in this alone. So I just went and saw their answers, which was pretty comforting and which was pretty nice. But I also used V0 to my rescue. Now, please be reminded that I used V0 more as an aid to my problem solving rather than just using it entirely for development, because my main goal was to learn a lot of things, right? And V0 was such a great tool. Like if I would enter my problems that I'm facing or errors I was facing, it would help me understand that, okay, what I can do next, how can I debug that, which is something very, very great. And it was a game changer for me. And how I used it was majorly in 2 points. First was, if there was a question that involved UI or layout, I would describe it to V0 and then generate the components instantly. But I also was focusing on the other goal as well of contributing and giving back to the community, right? That is, I'm learning, but I don't want to learn alone. So I was just going through the discussions page and questions page and I would see that if someone's issue was a bit vague, so they might have put any error message and there might not be any description, right? I would just recreate it or try to reciprocate it using V0 to understand the bug myself before answering, because I would guess answers, but I also wanted them to be right and as perfect as possible. Now, while V0 is a great tool for problem solving and for building, another tool I leaned on was the Vercel documentation, which I think is very well written. So if you ever find yourself navigating through Vercel and you are confused about anything, you can, of course, make use of either V0 or their documentation. Next, I would like to focus on this point, which is a very important point, which is showing up. So I feel that as a beginner, if you're learning something or you're contributing to a community, it is very important to show up constantly. And I understand that navigating a community as big as Vercel might be intimidating at first, but I feel that a good starting point would be that you just introduce yourself in the threads. That is, Vercel has its own introduction thread, so every person from the community introduces themselves over there, tells what they are, who they are, where they come from. And I feel this is a very good icebreaker. I also focused on answering questions when I could. So for example, if there is a problem that I faced and I see, okay, somebody else is also posting about this problem, or I might have some context about that, I would just go hop on and have a discussion with them on the thread. And I asked for more context if something was unclear. Then, okay, 50% I understand their question, and I trust myself that maybe I'm going in the right direction and I can help them. So I would go over there and just ask, have a discussion. And also, I made it a habit to check in regularly and offer help wherever possible. And soon enough, after a month or two of this, I was on the number 3 of the community leaderboard for that month, which was pretty great. Like, I started with having no information to going on the leaderboard, which was so motivating. And I feel that if I can do it, anybody can do it using Vercel Docs and V0 as their aid. Then I would also like to discuss this point that community is a two-way street. So if you're ever wondering how to get started and you really want to make a real impact in the community, these are my top 5 contribution guidelines, which is basically start wherever you are. You don't need to be an expert. We are all learning here. We are all trying to help each other. And your experience of building something, your experience of problem solving is something that others can learn from. Of course, use V0 for problem solving and debugging. It is like pairing up with a fast, brilliant co-coder, and this will help you understand how things are working. This will help you to learn a lot. Then engage with empathy. I feel this is very important when you're working in the community, when you're contributing in the community, because there are so many people that come from so many different places, and not everybody will come with same expertise. So of course, if you feel that you want to help somebody out, of course ask them follow-up questions, and if they're helping you out, of course don't forget to thank them. And keep showing up. Yes, consistency builds recognition and trust. That is very crucial. And also share your answer solution from V0 publicly to help others. So if you already do not know this, when you are using V0, there will be an option to share the link to your question and answer publicly. So maybe whenever the next time you are sharing your solution with anybody, you can directly copy paste the link instead of copy pasting the entire code. And this makes it very easy to use. And contributing isn't just about giving, it's about learning, connecting, and growing, which I really stand by. Now, my final thoughts: be human first, which is very important when you're working in a community. Second, start with what you already know, of course. As I already emphasized, that whatever you know is good enough to get started with. Use tools like V0 to accelerate your impact. I think my co-speakers already have told you how they have been making impact using their projects using V0, about how they are making some real world impact. That is something that you can also, of course, do. And then lean on the documentation, which is very important. I feel as a developer or a person who is learning new things, documentation can be the best source of truth you can go with. And last but not the least, don't wait to be ready that, okay, I have read the entire documentation, I know how to use V0, now I will be ready. Don't wait for that day to finally come. Just learn on the go. And I feel that if the best thing after the session that you want to take any next steps, any immediate steps, I would just recommend that go try solving a real problem using V0 and share it in the community. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be there to motivate you, guide you, help you out. And introduce yourself in the community if you haven't. Say hi, say why you're here and what you want to build. And last but not the least, there is a very good resource by Vercel itself, by Amy, about how to get good answers. I have linked the post over here so that you can go and read about how you can get good answers. It is a way that you can ask questions and how other people can help you out. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
We all learn so much. Community is not just being about asking questions, it's also about helping others. So, yeah, a really lovely presentation. Learned so much. So, I think now we can have all of us here for some questions and answers. So, yeah, we'll do the Q&A now.
Amazing. I will add folks on stage. Amazing. We are all here. Fantastic. So I can kick us off with a first question, if you like, Anshuman.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Pauline.
So I guess a lot of you folks have talked about V0 extensively, and like how V0 is basically like the foundation, the base of a lot of your projects. What is I feel like I ask this in every single stream, but like, what is the features you feel is missing on V0 that you would probably like, if I send this to the team, you would love for them to build? That's a big question. I'm very aware of that.
Okay, I can start with uh, probably a integration with the CLI. I would love something around that. It could be a really booster, in case I don't want to go in the browser to do if there will be something around that, that will be really interesting to see how, I just love the Vercel CLI. To be really honest, I just run one command, it gets deployed, and I have the link, everything set up. So if something like that, the developer experience will be much higher. But yeah, that will be something I would love to have.
Definitely noted. Nice. Anyone else want to jump in?
Yeah, I think adding to that version control or Git integration would be a very, very good thing. I think we already have an option to deploy things, which is something very, very nice. And I feel, yeah, if we have like version control directly uh, embedded, or if we have view, like if we can view history of changes, that would be really, really great.
We have a surprise for you.
Yeah,
Coming soon. Amazing.
Okay, then I
yeah.
didn't know any information.
We're cooking.
Yeah.
Amazing. Um,
But so far, the version history drop down has been pretty useful. Like you can go back and
Yes.
forth. I
Yeah.
think the code diff changes are not as good as it would be like if you're using a source control like Git. But yeah, we will get there. So yeah,
keep an eye out in the community. I
yeah.
think
Yeah, for me, like currently, like it's the stability issue that I'm facing. Sometimes, like it's not generating the full code or breaking things. So due to which my tons of getting the free tons, like basically it was
Mhm.
three, I guess. Then it changed to two or three sometime. But once gets wasted, so like that's one of the things that needs to be fixed once, like from my perspective, and with Safari as well, like if possible.
yeah,
Safari is like one of a kind browser, but still, like
Yeah,
amazing.
we'll
Thank you
definitely
so
share
much.
that.
Yeah, thank you so much for all that feedback. We'll definitely share that. Anshuman, do you want to ask our next question?
Yeah, I'm actually excited for this one. I'll start with Arindam because I think he has contributed to next year's. So, Arindam, do you have some tips or like some ideas for people who want to contribute to open source? So, I think you already did a contribution to next year's. Like, what was your motivation? You think if someone is starting out, what should they focus on? Like, how can they get started?
Yeah, I would say the first and foremost tip from my side is don't try to understand the whole code base. It
Yeah,
is, actually near to impossible, even if, because the simple thing is the project is built by, few hundred of developers, working on it for a long time. So you cannot understand the whole code base in a day or two. So it might be super overwhelming for, large code base just like Next.js. So the first time I saw Next.js, I was like, okay, what is happening? What is this code doing? So it was pretty tricky for me. So the first step is, try to understand that, okay, this section is working on that part, like just an overview of, okay, which section is working on which part, or just try to at least locally run that. That's probably the first step. You will get everything on the README. Just go through it, check the steps mentioned there, and in case the you are getting some issues, the community is the best place to ask your questions. Example, Vercel community, if you're stuck in something, just go there, ask there will be some folks like me, you can see me like helping you out, or Anshuman or Pauline, who can guide you through like what is the issue or what you can improve. So that is a good point. And when you start the running that locally, try to understand the issue. In the description there might be some resources attached to it. And now with the AI it is a bit more easy. You can just feed the code block of a file and understand that, okay, what it is doing actually and which part I want to change that. So I myself did that when I was contributing to the CLE. I tried to understand that, okay, which part is working on what section. So I just had an overview, then I put it on a LLM and asked it, okay, I want to improve this. What could be the file folder where I can inspect or try figuring it out. So that was my first way to contribute to Next.js. And yeah, I would say start small, try to add small addition, and try to, every time run the CI test. Otherwise you might get into an issue, just like I did. I messed up the linting and everything. But yeah, I would say those, minor things, just keep in mind. At least go through the docs at all. It will really help you out while, setting up it locally. So yeah, I'd say start small.
Oh, thanks. I think the insight about using LLMs and like ChatGPT and Copilot, all of that is pretty good because open source projects are already, I think, fed into the AI somehow. So you can get a head start also, can answer questions very fast. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. Jyoti or Avik, do you want to add something to it?
Yeah, I think the point about have not reading the entire code base makes pretty much very much sense actually, because when I was new to open source, I thought that, oh my god, I have to learn the folder structure, I have to understand everything, I have to learn everything. That our mentor was like, no, start small, take an issue, see where it backlinks to, how it is going. So I think, yeah, piece by piece, um, like there's a reason that there have been so many contributors building a project, right? If you would have been the only one, that would have been a different case.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Especially like the backtracking. Uh, it is with any code base, like you
Yeah.
can link up to different functions and then like the parent classes and so on and so forth. So you get better understanding instead of like starting from the top and then going to what. Yeah, I think good insight. Avik, anything?
Nothing from my side except that like it is just kind of recursion backtracking concept that I
Yeah.
understood, yeah. Like once
Yeah.
you get there, then again go back. Like otherwise, and just to be clear, like don't do spammy PRs. Like rather do meaningful contributions to the open source rather
Yes.
than doing like changing the readme with some kind of word and then claiming that I have done some open source contribution. That's like not the kind of
Mhm.
contribution anyone would like to see uh, in your GitHub or
Mhm.
anywhere in the industry, I guess. So since I haven't done that much of open source contribution, like I'm starting to, but not that much. But
Mhm.
that's my insight currently, like with the conversation.
Yeah, I think it's good to be respectful of the contributors and the maintainers. But I think a very good starting point is also docs. So if you are reading documentation of a project and you run into a like a typo or do you run into a code example that doesn't work precisely how it is mentioned, I think it's a very good starting point to just make a contribution right there. And it does help other people who end up on the documentation and they find that the issue is solved and they can like smoothly use the product. So I think that is again a very good first issue sort of thing. So yeah, that was a very insightful discussion actually. So Pauline, do you want to take the next question? Do you have something in mind?
Yes, yeah, I actually wanted to lean more into the community side of things because
Hmm.
I really like Jyoti's presentation and her just insights. And obviously, it's the community we all take care of. So I feel like I really want to dig into that. But everyone is welcome to like jump in to answer this question. So you had a lot of great to dos for community members. Would you like to also share some don'ts with us as well? Like what not to do in this community space?
Exactly. So, oh my God, there are a lot. First, of course, don't be disrespectful. We are all learning here. We are all trying to make the community a better place. We are all people from different parts of the world on the internet trying to make something or learn something. And just like, I feel that there's no question that is big or small, even if it is a very small question. If you feel that you have the uh, bandwidth to answer it, of course, answer it with grace. And again, spammy code bases. So a lot of times I might have seen that on V0, if you're entering something and you're not describing it very well, or the prompt is not very well written, it might give you an answer which might not be the best answer. And then going in the community and putting that and asking, hey, this is what it does. I would rather recommend that use V0 as a tool that helps you in problem solving, not solves the problem entirely for you, right? So I feel that is a good way to use it and also learn stuff. And last but not the least, don't hide your projects or contributions, like if you're contributing even big or small, just go and share it with the community. A lot of people will be like, my contribution is not big enough to be shared in front of people, or what if my question is really small? It's okay, just go out there and just build in public, because this is known as community for a reason. So I think these are my top threes.
That's such a good. Those are really really great ones. I think what you said about like just speaking to like V0 or even ChatGPT or some AI and asking it to answer your questions. That's not the way to go, because yeah, they can be wrong sometimes, and sometimes it's just good to use it as more of a guidance, which is absolutely like spot on. I really love that advice. Is there anything else from the rest of the group? Anyone wants to jump in?
Yeah, I would say one thing that I learned, while being in the community, like always try to be inclusive towards, whenever you are addressing someone, try to be inclusive, because, there are folks from different time zones. When, also in while you are contributing, don't just tag the maintainers on the GitHub issues. They also have their, work and stuff. So be respectful to them, also in the community members as well. And yeah, always try to understand their like sort of things as well, while just saying anything, try to address them with folks or generic words instead of hey guys or hey girls, like those kind of stuff. Try to be more inclusive to everyone, because that's the thing we do in the community. We welcome everyone, and we try to be create a good environment here. So we try to welcome everyone. So yeah, that's it from my side. Yeah.
Amazing. Super, super important. You're right. I think we have time for at least one more question. Oh, we have one that's just come in actually in the chat. So I'll take this one, Anshuman, if that's okay.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
so Riz asks, how did you find V0's seamless how did you find V0 seamless working with Okay, did you find V0 seamless whilst working on Vercel.com? Curious if the functionality of Vercel features such as speed insights, observability, firewall helped you as you launched your projects to increase traffic. Does anyone have any insights there? You are very wordy, Riz. No, it's also me. I'm also very wordy. Don't worry. Anyone can jump in there to answer that question. So essentially, did you use Vercel's other features whilst using V0? And which ones were they?
Yeah, I was using the analytics. I just love them to get an insight, like where the users are coming from, where they are visiting from, all those insights I just love. But yeah, I just expired them because it was a sudden huge chunk of folks jumping into it. So yeah, I just love the insights I got, that okay, who are the users, where they are from, which time zones they are coming from. So it was a lot of insight that I thought, okay, this is something interesting. If I'm building something around that, I will keep in mind that okay, these are the folks, these are the ICP kind of stuff. So yeah, pretty insightful. I just love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
sure.
Go ahead.
Although like Ansuman has also unmuted, so that's why like I was considering. So, anyways, like I like as Arindam already said, I also use the analytics as well as the Postgres of Vercel. In one of my projects, I was exploring all those stuff, and then there's the firewall, which is automatically like turned on from whenever we deploy our projects. So that keeps the bad traffic out from our like deployed versions and not increasing the pills. As well as for the analytics, I have already exhausted my free tier basically, but uh, I always try to get the insights on where does my users actually live, and like as Arindam also said, to get the insights of who is using my product, or basically like in my portfolio as well, like from where does I get most of the views for my portfolio whenever I share it on Twitter or in any other platform. Like that's the most basic thing that we obviously see, and which pages are they like visiting the most. That's the main thing that we like to see, because on that page, then why not other pages, then we can improve it on it. So like that's the most insightful thing I get. And like right now I'm trying to use the Vercel KV as well as the Redis in one of my other project. um, obviously like related to rate limiting. So that's the insight.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Josie, anything you want to add?
No, I think these were pretty good points. Everything covered.
Yeah, amazing. Uh,
I think I have a question that I wanted to learn more about. So Aindam and Avik and Jyoti, you have been building some stuff. So I just wanted to know, like, what are the next steps, or like, what are the next improvements you want to do in your project? Like, be it the current one, you want to improve it further, or are you cooking something else? Like, you're making something new and gonna launch it on the community or on your Twitter. So just want to know that.
Yeah, I can start then. Yeah,
Sure.
so one of my next to do is to improve the performance of logo AI. It was, just takes few more seconds to generate that. So I was just trying to improve the performance of that, and the overall image optimization and all those dynamic things. Another thing I'm just trying, like, currently figuring out, fine tuning the model, the image generation based on your needs, so that I can give you more personalized. But that might be something that will be and not free, as it takes some other work. So yeah, I'm just working on those stuffs, and yeah, also building some new projects will be sharing on my socials, so you can stay tuned for that. That is still cooking. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think I can go next. I think my next
Sure.
goal would be to come on number one now, from number
Yeah,
three on community leaderboard for the next month. Hopefully, I do this. That is my main goal now.
I like this goal.
Let's hope.
she's got her
Yeah,
eyes on the prize. I love it.
I do.
yeah.
Um,
Nice to know.
yeah,
Go
for
ahead,
me,
Abhi.
like I'm trying to um, fix the hallucination problem of the AI model that I'm currently using, since sometimes it causes most of the errors. Like other than that, the API of Google Forms is not that much flexible to work around with for now. uh, right now, like building some new projects, not around Google, but like from the basic to ease my workflow, related to college obviously, not related to other things. And yes, trying to build some similar to Vercel analytics as well, trying to like just understanding the concept of how they are, like what's the schema that is being used by Vercel. Like obviously there would be some different schema from me, like it would be something different, how the tracking is being done and everything. So trying to understand that and hoping to like launch it by this week or next week, until unless there are exams in our college. So that's
Oh, yeah, I think that's a really good approach to learn by building. So I think that's a really good idea.
That's
It was
that's
really insightful session. Uh,
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I was gonna say that's the way to go. Always learning by doing.
Yeah,
Amazing. Well, I think we can. I was just going to say, just to wrap us up here, thank you so much for our speakers for joining us today. If you want to connect with them and see what they're building with Vercel and things like that, feel free to like scroll on the page. You can see all their socials on there to connect with them on, yeah, on Twitter or LinkedIn. And I'm sure this isn't the last time we'll see of all of them. So thank you so much, folks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it
yeah.
was great talking to you.
Thank you all.
thank you everyone.
Amazing, Anshuman. That was an incredible session, right? um,
Yeah,
well,
there was.
amazing. Thank you so much to
Yeah,
everyone that's tuned in. Just to let you know, we are doing a live session every single week in April. So if you missed last week, you can check it out in our events page. It was with our partners with Checkly. Next week, we have a really exciting one with the domains team. You can come here and ask any questions about domains and how we build domains at the domain section at Vercel. And then we have a couple others that you can find in our events page. But apart from that, thank you again for joining us. And we're so excited to see you next time.
yeah.